So you've been counting the days until your household goods delivery finally arrives in Warner Robins, Georgia. But now you're wondering, am I really ready to take on my delivery, or do I still have stuff left to do? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you and explain just how to get everything ready to finish out this mission, military style. And stay tuned to the end, because I'm going to show you another little trick to make sure that everything that left origin is actually a destination, and if it's not, you'll know immediately. So let's get started. Hi guys, I'm Chris, your real estate problem solver here in Middle Georgia. I've been a real estate investor and an agent for over 20 years, so I've known the Middle Georgia market pretty well. So if you have any issues with real estate, or you need to buy or sell a house in the Middle Georgia area, make sure to reach out to me. My information is in the description below. Now let's get into your household goods delivery in Middle Georgia. Alright, so as you should have already been briefed, if you're coming in from overseas, a cross-country move is going to allow all members to have 90 days of temporary storage at destination. So if you don't already have a residence set up when your stuff gets to your destination, don't worry about it. They have a place in the local area where they will drop it off. It'll go into a warehouse, and you've got time to find your address and get settled in before your household goods gets delivered. Now, if you have a cross-country move, if you're coming into Robins Air Force Base from another location and you're military, you still have 90 days of temporary storage. But if you're civilian, you've only got 60 days of temporary storage. So make sure that you get your address ready and get settled in, so you can call the moving company back and say, hey, I'm here, I'm ready to take delivery, and they'll schedule a time to have your stuff brought out to you. Now, like I said, if your stuff is coming back in from overseas, well, number one, welcome back. And number two, most likely, well, 100% of the time, your stuff is going to be coming in crates. If you're coming in from overseas and your household goods does not get delivered to your house in crates, first of all, you need to be asking questions. Second of all, it would be a good idea to contact the TMO office and let them know what's going on. The local TMO office does have inspectors that should come out to the house and kind of help mitigate whatever may be going on. Now, when your household goods gets delivered from overseas, like I said, it should be in crates, whether it's a household goods or an unaccompanied baggage. So when your stuff gets here, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to check the crates for any damage. If there's any damage on the outside, take pictures of it. Now, if your crates come in and they're wet or they look like they've got mold, definitely take pictures of that. And it would be a real good idea to go ahead and call the local TMO office and have an inspector come out and take a look at the crates before you go any further. Now, if you check the crates and everything looks good, of course, the movers are going to start uncrating the items and start taking stuff out. As they start bringing stuff out, the best thing you can do is make sure that you look inside the crates, look at everything as it starts coming in, and inspect it and make sure that there's no mold or any obvious damage. Now, the movers are supposed to let you know if they find any damage, but that doesn't always happen. So make sure to be at the ready and be very proactive when your items come in. That way, if anything comes in and it's immediately obvious that it's damaged, you can go ahead and take pictures in case you want to file a claim on it. Now, since we're talking about claims, you do have 180 days at the time of this video to inspect all your items, and if there's anything that's damaged that you want to file a claim on, the claims process is 100% online. So you can call your local TMO office and get some written instructions on how to file a claim. But basically what you do is you go into move.mil, you put in your information, you'll log into your profile, and you'll file your claim in there. Now, while we're on the subject of moving back to the States from overseas, when you left, did you have a non-temp storage in a warehouse staying here while you were gone? Well, when you get your move and you're ready to come back to the States, the first thing you need to do is check with your TMO office and find out about your entitlements for your non-temp storage. Because when you get back to the States, you've only got a certain amount of time before you can ask for your non-temp storage to be released without you having to pay for it. If it goes over your entitlement, then your non-temp storage will convert to your expense. So make sure when you get back here, you get your non-temp storage scheduled to be released as soon as you can. Now, with that being said, non-temp storage is your items sitting in a warehouse in a crate somewhere in the United States. When you get to your destination, whether it's Maxwell, Robins Air Force Base, Travis, any of them, when you go to the TMO office, you say, hey, I have a non-temp storage, I need to have it released, and they will find it, and they'll find it in the database, and they'll schedule for it to be released. Now, make sure that when the non-temp storage gets released, it's coming to you, okay? There's no stopping it, and there's no more temporary storage. So when you schedule for it to be delivered, you need to have your residents ready to take delivery, or you need to have a storage unit available for you to put your stuff into your own personal storage unit, because when it gets here, like I said, it's not going to have temporary storage. You could leave it in the appointed non-temp storage warehouse and let it expire, and you will assume the expenses from that point on. It'll convert to your expense. But you might want to check, because 9 times out of 10, the storage rates for those warehouses are going to be a lot more expensive than the personal storage units that you can find locally. Now, if you're coming in from cross country, California, Colorado, Maxwell, Travis, then your household goods move is going to be a standard loose packed shipment. Now, once in a while, depending on the delivery system and how busy the network is, sometimes even cross-country moves will sometimes get packed up in crates and delivered on a freight truck. If so, same thing. Check the crates and see if they're damaged on the outside. That gives you an idea on the condition of things inside. Otherwise, just watch items as they come off the truck, and if anything looks obvious, make sure to stop and get a closer inspection immediately. You do have time to inspect things later, but the sooner you see it, and the sooner you see it with the movers there, the sooner something can possibly be done. Now, if you have not been briefed on this, a couple of the entitlements that you're entitled to are any items that were taken apart at the origin. When it gets delivered, the moving company is supposed to reassemble those items, whether it be your table, your bed frames, Nordic track, or whatever it may be that was taken apart. If they took it apart, they're supposed to put it back together. And if they don't, well, again, call your TMO office and let them know what's going on so they can come out and mediate the situation. Also, another entitlement that a lot of people don't really enforce too much is unpacking. Now, of course, they won't put the dishes in the cabinets for you, but they will unpack your items and lay them out so you can organize them as you want to. Now, most people do know that when items come in, you do have the right to have a one-time placement. So, of course, the bed goes in the kitchen and the dishes go in the bathroom. No, scratch that. Reverse it. So, they will put the items in the room that you want them to, at least the first time. And then, again, if you want them to unpack, you're entitled to that. And then all the packing materials that they have left over when they unpack, if they unpack, they will take that with them. Again, if you have any issues with the moving company pushing back, make sure to contact the TMO office, and they'll be happy to get a counselor or an inspector to come out and kind of mitigate the situation. Now, when items are coming off the truck, it's a good idea to make sure that they let you know what items those are. Okay? And usually what they're going to do is, if they did it right at the origin, they should have put at least your last name and a description of what's in the box. That way, if there was anybody else's shipment on the truck at the time that yours was on there, they can tell your shipment from theirs, obviously by the last name, because what's the chances of 2 Smiths being on the same truck? Oh, right. I hope your last name is a little more unique than Smith. So, but if you do have a shipment that's with somebody else, the last name and the description, plus the stickers are usually different colors. So chances are your shipment is going to have inventory stickers, hopefully, that are a different color than somebody else's. It does happen that they get the same one, But there's 3 different parts to the inventory system that they should have done that will make sure that if you do get packed up on a truck with somebody else, they'll still be able to tell your items from somebody else's. Now, for that bonus tip, now as the items are coming off the truck, you should have a copy of your inventory sheet. If you don't, they should be giving you a copy of the inventory sheet that they have. First of all, a smooth way to make sure that you get everything that you're supposed to have is visually check over both of the inventory sheets. They should be, if your copy looks exactly the same as theirs, it should, so it shouldn't take but a quick second to compare a few dots and I's and T's and this and that to say, yeah, these are the same inventory sheets. If they're not, then that's a red flag. You might want to stop right there and make sure that the inventory sheet that you've got actually matches up to the inventory sheet that they got. If it doesn't, then call the TMO office. Now, chances are it does because it was probably a photocopy. As they bring stuff off, have them call out the numbers. When they call out the numbers, check it off the inventory sheet. As you check off the items on the inventory sheet, you know it's been delivered. If you, by chance, sometimes when they pack up your items, the packing crew will pack up with one color, and then the driver will come in with his crew to load up, and he'll pack up the bed frame, the couch, the table, the chairs, the big items with his own inventory sheet, and he should have used a different color. So you may have a blue and a yellow. You may have a green and a red. So make sure you lay out the greens over here and the reds over here so you know when they call out 17, they mean 17 green. When they call out 27, they mean 27 red. So make sure to keep them laid out and keep them checked off as they come in. Now, if items come in that don't have an inventory sticker, your job was to make sure that they had an inventory sticker on each item as it left your residence at origin. Stickers fall off, it's not a big deal. If it doesn't have a sticker, have them put that item, unless you know exactly what it is and you know where exactly it is on the inventory sheet, go ahead and have them put that separately somewhere over in the corner. Now, finish going through the inventory list. If you get to the end of the inventory and everything is off the truck, go back through the items that were not checked off and try to match those to the pile over here that doesn't have any inventory stickers. Once you get through that, then you ought to be able to see if there is anything missing. If there is, you know immediately what number it is and which item it is, so you can report it immediately, because the faster you get the moving company tracking those items, the more likely they are to find them. Well, I hope this video helps you out. Now, if you haven't studied anything about household goods moves, I've got a video right here that explains exactly how a household goods is supposed to go from start to finish. And you can watch that in conjunction with this one, and you should have a pretty good picture of exactly what's supposed to happen and what's not supposed to happen. Of course, if you have any questions about the Robins Air Force Base deliveries or PCSing, make sure to give me a call, and I'll talk to you on the next video.